Cheers to this pre-FOMC Tuesday retail trading team. This is your routine briefing. It's been a pretty interesting day so far. We're up about 26.5 thereabouts right now, having a little bit of a sell-off. Started the day off quite stratospheric, I would say. We're going to look at the macro chart and see kind of what's going on there. Seems everybody's excited for tomorrow. We'll see if that excitement holds as we move forward throughout today. And obviously, we'll see if it holds after our good friend Jerome speaks tomorrow. So I'm just going to make sure my sound's on here. Okay, yes. Lovely sound of my own voice, as I'm sure many of you can relate. Cringed a little bit there. In any case, moving forward with our briefing, we're going to start with the warm-up and see what we got going on there, and then we'll move to the fun price action related other things. Okay. So, what's going on today's warm-up? A little bit different than yesterday. So yesterday you kind of had that neutral look. Today, obviously, we had that long overnight inventory, which they're slowly trying to unwind here as the morning session progresses, as we kind of battle around this 4,000 area, which we'll see why it's important when we look at that macro chart. And you did have that open rejection reverse, kind of that bullish chop type open. So we are below the open now. So obviously, I don't think that open rejection reverse is too relevant. Again, that's just kind of it implies the choppiness of any open would be that type of open rejection reverse. If you want to learn more about that, by the way, I don't really talk about this too much, but if you click on the side here and you go to this cool little LinkedIn post, I just kind of did a brief little write-up on what the various opens mean. I say mean in quotations because obviously the market is quite random, Brownian motion, yada yada, but often we can kind of glean a few insights from how we open there. So the final little highlights on this warm-up, at least for the inventory portion, is you look at that TPO, we got that narrow IBR again. It's kind of been a thing, especially relative to volatility, and in my opinion, we're seeing the same TPO type look. We'll look at the TPO here in a sec because, to be honest, I haven't looked at it in a few minutes, and we have sold off a little bit since I did put that neutral reading in there, and so we'll look at that a little bit more closer, whatever the proper grammar is there. And yeah, so by the way, if you're unfamiliar with this lovely document, it's in the description of this video, as well as any other links. So ranges that to kind of watch today remain to be this 4,000 area. If we're looking at it, just pure expected move. If SPX, so keep in mind, by the way, that we do have a contract rollover, so there's a big difference in the SPX expected move versus ES. So keep in mind that these are SPX numbers. We're kind of in the middle of it right now, yet as we pop toward either, we get a significant sell-off, about 20 more points will take us to the lower edge of that expected move zone, and if we do get that pop again near the high, is near the top. Yet again, as we look at the price action related indicators, whatever you want to call them, I think you'll see that it's likely we probably consolidate around that 4,000 area and look toward tomorrow at our favorite SPY, or our favorite ES level, which is around that 4,000 area. So we'll see what happens on the SPX. Perhaps they might want to take us a little lower and consolidate around 3950. So we'll just have to kind of watch how the day progresses. My personal levels, the barb levels at least, are also on here. You can learn more about that strategy. Again, description to this video. Oh, we just got a potential exhaustive sell there. Let's see what's going on the time and sales. Okay, we'll see if we're moving toward that 4,000 area, and I want to jump right into the price action now just because I think we're nearing some important areas, so I just want to plug real quick. So this barb stuff you can see along the bottom of this tab. If you go to that routine day trading document in the routine trading folder, you can kind of see how I'm playing that. I am more engaged with Fey right now, which is kind of a scalping strategy. Just because barb is in a bit of a drawdown, I want some more occurrences. I do not like how this optimal F is kind of playing out. I need to fill in yesterday's data, and obviously we're in the middle of a drawdown, so you have to give it more time. But I'm more focused on Fey right now, which is, again, just similar to Barb in that it's just fading at the edges versus mechanical trades around the bar mechanics. Again, I don't want to harp too much on that right now, but you can check out both of those in that routine day trading document, and you can track the progress on here. So again, I need to fill out Barb's log from yesterday. I am out of office at the moment, so my time at computer is more limited than normal, but I'll get that up for you, and we'll fill in the numbers so everybody can follow along. So moving on from the warm-up, we're going to pop into the price action portion of the briefing, starting with the macro chart. So this green level here, you'll notice, is one of yesterday's level. I think it might have been the one of the highs from one of the prior days. So that's what that green level is. The yellow ones are what I mark for the current day. So kind of ignore, this is my execution chart, less relevant to these briefings. So just kind of ignore what's going on here. This is just my execution area, and I do not have enough screens to hide that. So we're going to pop into the macro look, which is, I think, thing to focus on today. So this is still ES. We have to move time and sales here for a sec. This is still ES. I'm going to move to SPY, and I told you I was doing that yesterday. Something came up, unfortunately, and I was unable to fix the data issues I had. Yet it's still behaving on this ES. It's not as precise, so for those of you who are super into technical analysis, you may be scoffing at some of my numbers, and I respect that because it is cleaner. It is cleaner, or more clean. Again, we're having that same grammatical distinction issue as a little earlier in the briefing, relative to SPY versus ES. Okay, anyways, so as you can see, we popped into that SMA cluster this morning. That was right near the top of the expected move. That's why I'm currently short. I didn't get the signal until a little late. We had let's see, probably a 15-ish point retracement before I could even get in. Almost exactly 15 as I look at the chart here. So I did miss what I think was that perfect short trade. Not missing it because I wasn't paying attention, just signal didn't print, and I'm pretty mechanical in that sense. But you can see we're retesting the bottom side of that trend line. I do think we'll probably close, as I said earlier, crystal balling, obviously anything can happen. Yet I think we'll probably close below that trend line, probably right along this 200 SMA. Just seems right ahead of Powell tomorrow. But you can see this is where the cluster is. We're stuck between that yearly VWAP and the SMA cluster, right below the trend line, and it's just kind of a good little area to chop around and prepare for what will likely be the catalyst for the next trend move tomorrow. It's a fair point, and I didn't even realize how much of retrace we've had, but we have had about 150 points, a little more retrace from that low that we made last week. So some might say that this has already been a trend move, and we'll be looking for that continuation or rejection here. But that's just kind of looking at on macro. You can see we're kind of into the supply zone. I'm going to move this up a little bit just because we've pierced into it. I do like to keep these as narrow as possible to kind of get an idea of the strength of the buyers versus sellers. So you can just see super unsurprising location in the macro chart right now. Getting a glimpse at my video, and it is atrocious on this computer, so it looks like I will be bringing my webcam next time. My goodness, I apologize for the rinky-dink nature of these briefings. I was not really ready for moving the mobile office this time, so it'll be better in a couple weeks when I come back here again. Anyways, moving forward, hopefully we are accepting of the poor video quality into the TPO chart, which I think is most relevant for just today's day trades. So kind of got a lot going on here. Again, that high today was just perfect. For those of you who kind of are a little more subjective and want and try to top ticket, let me see if I have that in this warm-up document. I think this is actually a pretty cool little. I'm gonna plug my friend Leo here. I don't see it in here. Let's see if we can order full labs. It's not that one. Here we go. All right. So, by the way, anybody who just wants a cooler resource, if you go to orderfulllabs.com, Leo the Tiger's trading playbook. I am an Orderflow Labs member. I don't really use the software anymore. Nothing against it. I just like my little basic, pretty price action better. But this playbook is really good for just general psychology, and I think a lot of you might find it helpful to inform your own trading. Anyways, the reason I bring it up is for that entry this morning. I think it's in this. Yes. If you're a fan of the POSA, again, or if the Labs Leo Tigers trading playbook will take you up to it, that was just the perfect POSA entry. Great alliteration to match the great trade there. And you just saw we whacked this naked POC from that big sell-off that we had. Um, I think it was on the 9th. Let me see if that's correct. Either 8th or 9th. I'm not really sure if that was overnight. Doesn't matter. You can just see perfect entry there. We pop back down, and now we're kind of stuck between the single from the overnight session. I think that's really going to be a nice target for this down move that's currently occurring. Again, it's more of a consolidation area. Consolidation area. Again, there we go with the great grammar. But anyways, watch that single as we pop lower, and then maybe watch that naked POC if they want to take it a little bit farther. Hey, 87 is another naked POC. We even have that poor low. So these are some decent looking MGI for the trading day. I think that if we do get a pop before going lower, watch what happens around that naked POC as the bulls perhaps regain control of the day and we make a move back toward that high. Yet I just want to emphasize that I think for the day trading crowd, this TPO and these levels are going to be really helpful pretty much regardless of your style. So I don't expect us to go after the naked POC of this large distribution, multi-day distribution here. Yet if we do, that 3950 number is hanging out. Another one of those obvious levels, those psychologically important levels. But really for today, I'm watching the poor high there. Let's zoom in the chart here so we can get some better levels. So that poor high at about 81, 82. You got the naked POC from overnight at 88. Another naked POC. So this is Asia, this is Europe. So from the Europe session, about 96, and then a single there at about 4,002, which is where I'm looking for the likely conclusion. Just because that 4,000 level I think is going to be hard to crack. So it'd be nice to get into the 95. Yet I think we should watch that single most closely. So moving on from TPO. Moving on from TPO land, let me check my little notes here, make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, I mean, we'll just take a look at volatility. I think it's going to be more the same, more that consolidation look. And you're kind of seeing it's really toward the lower end of its range here. So if we just look back, all the way back to last week, we've kind of entered this really wide consolidation range for volatility. I do have a trading friend who likes that UVIX product, UVIX product. It's been really good trading for just scalping around volatility. You can see we're near the lower end of that range. I expect us probably to keep either maybe descending a little bit, but keep chopping around here. I don't expect a huge sell-off or a huge push before Powell. So just kind of watch these main levels, 28 area, 22, 40-ish area, maybe as low as 22. So we'll say 22 to 28, really wide volatility range. And I just don't think this is an important chart ahead of Powell. I don't think we're going to learn anything from here, except that we're consolidating and that there's a potential for a move in either direction. So thank you, Captain Obvious, but yet just bringing that up to, we got to talk about the volatility chart. I just don't think that it's particularly helpful for today. So the way that we're going to do tomorrow's briefing is really, I'm not sure if we need a briefing tomorrow, so I'll pop in real quick. It's going to be a nice brief briefing. Unlike today, I'm not really going to be trading in the morning, so I'm just going to pop in, review the levels, and then we will look toward Powell. So that is all I have for you for today's price action. So let's take one more look at the execution side of things to see what's going on here. Macro. Okay, so we're just kind of chopping around here, but one more look at the TPO. I think these are the major levels for today. We'll see what happens around that. If you did like today's video, by the way, please give it a like. That helps with the algorithm. Those of you who hang out on Twitch, I will again be absent from Twitch just due to various out-of-office commitments. I should be back on there at least one day at the end of the week. So we'll have a little DJ party for those of you who like the electronic music with rough transitions. We'll have at least one this week. Links to everything, once again, are in the description to the video. And besides that, let's see if we can't get some trades on and stay classy until tomorrow.